Just tell us what you do. My name is Rodger Straley. I was in ATN2 and was in VP5 from 1960 until late February of 1962. I had been on Crew 9 flying 131521 until the summer of 1961. When I became the first tech on Crew 10 and began flying, went from the newest airplane in the squadron to the oldest airplane in the squadron. I think I was a junior first tech. That's why they gave me the oldest plane. I made the deployment to Keflavik in the fall of 1961 and was flew the patrols the previous people had talked about. When we leave Keflavik, we typically flew these ice patrols, but we would go to Scoresby Sound in on Greenland, and we would drop stuff out to those people, their mail and sometimes candy, Christmas e-dunks. As I recall, it was an Eskimo village pretty much. And we would leave there and fly northeast to Jan Mayen Island, a small island belonging to Norway. And we would throw out parts and mail to the Norwegians. And as I recall, 2 United States Coast Guardsmen were on that island. And of course, it was icebound through the winter. Their only supply of parts and mail was what we would throw out of the airplanes to them when we'd fly there. So the typical flight was from Keflavik to over to Greenland, from Greenland up to Scoresby Sound, up to Jan Mayen Island, and then back to Keflavik. And it was several hours of patrol. I knew several of the folks on LA9 when I went. I had gone back to the United States on emergency leave about 3 days before the plane was lost. And I came back to Jacksonville. And it took me about 2 days to get here. So very shortly after arriving in Jacksonville, the word arrived that the LA9 was missing, and with all hands. And I was not there for that initial search and rescue effort, all those flights. I returned to Iceland after a couple of weeks here in the United States. And as a previous gentleman have stated, every time we flew patrol, of course, we were always had our eyes and ears out for any kind of indication from the crew of LA9. Some of those guys were fairly good buddies, and some were more like acquaintances, but it's kind of difficult to go off and leave them there. And years later, I was stationed at Fleet Sonar School in Key West, Florida, when I had heard that an expedition going across the Greenland ice pack and come across the Navy PPV. I think that's all I have.